for the sake of the game, it probably would be better if we all started off from scratch. What do you think of that? Should we all starting off from scratch? People, welcome to another edition of that finger tapping frenzy that we all know and love. It's WWE SuperCard with me, Big Jim, here at BadLadDad HQ. Now what I'm going to do is play you the back end of my own personal Road to Glory that I finished with about 17 minutes to spare, approximately. Last night, today's Monday, it finishes in the UK time. Well, it's late Sunday evening, early Monday morning. But of course, extenuating circumstances, which I shall go on to explain, well, so you can see highlights. If you don't want to hear me talking, you can just watch a bit of gameplay down below. Well, what I would just say is, with this particular Road to Glory, what I had to do at the back end of the run, I got it to where I could do 6-point matches all the way up to the end of the event card. But what I needed to do for those last 100, 120 points, something like that, was if it was giving me an opponent that was in the SummerSlam Plus tier, I had to keep refreshing and refreshing and refreshing until it gave me someone in the SummerSlam tier. Now it does get round to it eventually, and you'll see in between the penultimate game that you can see here, that means last but one, and the final game, you'll see I refreshed about 4,000 times to try and get what I needed. But one of the signs that you do see is that you'll sometimes get, it'll go SummerSlam plus for the 2-pointer, then just, let's get this right actually, no, SummerSlam plus for the 2-pointer, then just SummerSlam for the 6-pointer, and then SummerSlam plus for the biggie that you're not going to bother trying to beat. So, so that's what I was doing. Look, it's more waffle, isn't it? You'll see what I was doing over there. Now then, updates on what's been going on. Generally good news. Generally good news. Didn't think I was going to be able to do Road to Glory this weekend because again I was out of London, sitting with bad lad Nan, who's been gravely ill in hospital. She's about 50 miles outside of London. But the good news is twofold. Firstly, Ninja Boy out of hospital, fighting fit again and back to school today, so I don't have to worry about him now. That's all sorted. He's come through his little scare and everything, so we're cool there. So that's brilliant news on that front. And with BadLadDad Nan over the weekend, as I mentioned, she'd had a second heart attack. She's now sat up in bed. She knows what she's talking about. These last couple of weeks, where when she has been awake, she's been delirious and talking about all sorts of weird things, like the nurses were locking her in a cell and we were all going to die of MRSA and all that kind of thing. That's all gone. She's now talking properly and is on the mend. And just for details, so you can hear what a rough ride she's had, she actually shattered the ball joint in her shoulder. She shattered it in 5 places when she fell. And then when she was in hospital, where they're meant to be looking after her, she had a second heart attack. It's like, okay, that's not good news. If you're meant to be looking after her, I was expecting a bit better service than that. Anyway, that's what happened. But thankfully, she seems to have come through it. I'm not going to just say everything's fine, because it's obviously not fine. There's a long road to recovery. But hopefully it is a long road to recovery now. But the good thing is she's off the critical list. So, buoyed by that news and the fact that I could see over the weekend she was a lot better, when I was getting back to where I was staying in the evening, I was doing a quick 5 or 6 hours of Road to Glory and managed to get the Kofi Kingston card. So that set me up nicely for next weekend for Ring Dommy Dim Dom, so I can get myself a decent pro. Talking of pros, I'm still not getting the luck. I've been getting some more singles. I've got singles coming out of my ears. Singles just chasing me out of house and home. Just not getting the pros. Got one non-event pro, which was Rowan, which is now done. But just everything else, it's just single. I got a Samoa Joe from Team Battleground, so that was good news. To actually get a SummerSlam card from Team Battleground, that was great news. But it's not a Samoa Pro, it's a Samoa single, so it's just so frustrating. There's some other news on that front. When I did see the Samoa Joe card, I was like, yes! But I was reacting too quickly because it was actually Ninja's account. It was Ninja Boy's account that had got the Samoa Joe SummerSlam card previously. because of everything that's been going on, because of his health and everything else, he's just going to take a bit of a back seat on SuperCard for a bit. Maybe wait till Season 5, see how that goes. So, assuming, of course, we get Season 5. So, you're probably not going to see him now until we head into Season 5. But thinking about it, if you think back to this time last year, we're now into the second week in October. Season 4 came out around the second, third week in November. It was the second week in November. Because a few of us were lucky enough to be flown out to Seattle at the start of November to actually see what those good people at Cat Daddy had been up to, and what all the little goodies they were preparing for us, all the new things that we hadn't seen before. So that was obviously November last year, so you would kind of think, timing-wise, it's got to be on the cards, literally got to be on the cards. And the fact that we've got SummerSlam cards in the Fusion Chamber, Long John Silver and the Pirates be working on them cards in the Fusion Chamber. And there's all the throwbacks that are coming out as well. We kind of get that feel that this is it, that's the tier that we're ending on for Season 4. I have no doubt that we're coming into a Season 5. But some big questions when it comes to Season 5, because what do you do? Players, if you're new to the game now, I'd be interested to hear actually in the comments down below. If you've only started playing the game the last 6 months or so, it must be quite daunting if you're starting off in the bottom rung, and you look at everyone who's on SummerSlam 18 tier, and even people who are just on some of the tiers sort of below that, even if you're on Goliath or what have you, you may think, oh, I'm only on Goliath tier and I've not reached the top tier yet, and this is so frustrating. Think of the people who are looking up at you, going, oh, I wish I was on Goliath tier. It's a long, long road, longer than the road to glory, to try and get up to the top tier these days. So, do they start looking at maybe trying to level things out again? Do they start everyone off from a level playing field again? I'd be tempted to do that, you know. If it was my game, I'd be tempted to say, look, we've had a great run for 4 seasons. You can keep all the cards for your images and all that kind of shizzle, that's fine. And okay, players who've been playing it for previous seasons, here's maybe a 2 or 3 card bonus to get you started, ahead of people who are new to the game, so at least you feel you do get something from it. But I know there's going to be people saying, well, I've spent 600 quid or $1,000 on this or what have you. Well, okay, that was your choice, I would say, it's your choice. But I think for the sake of the game, it probably would be better if we all started off from scratch. What do you think of that? Should we all starting off from scratch? I reckon that would be the best way of trying to lift it again, because then everyone's going to be scrambling through, because let's face it, for all the same players, they're all going to be on the same top tier and everything, and you all know who the YouTubers are who are all on the top tiers and everything. It's not going to be the same. It'd be a chance for someone new to come through. Get some new YouTubers on the case. Get some new blood. Come on. Get those opportunities. You can do this sort of thing as well. It's easy. Honestly, it's easy. Just talking to a camera and just playing a bit of a game. You can do it. If you want to, all those who keep saying, what do I need to do? Just do it. Just get a camera. I use an iPhone. You are now looking at an iPhone recording me, and I've got my MacBook down, well, it's down here, it's probably down there on the screen, but it's down to my left as I'm looking at you now, and that's what's playing the card action. And that's what I'm going to be recording the action on there. I'm just going to take this footage and I'm going to stick it on there. It's actually on there the way I'm looking, but I think it's on there the way you're looking. But anyway, you catch my drift. I guess what I should say is, do you want me to make a video, and this is dangerous territory, do you want me to make a video showing you how I do this? Because it seriously is not difficult. At the start, I started buying a few bits of equipment, and because of my job as a journalist, I'd got a decent camera that could also do video, and I was, oh, I'm going to have all this fantastic stuff, all the great software, oh, yeah, I'm going to go to town. Bottom line, if you just want to get on doing a few videos, you can do it with some fairly basic equipment. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. You just need to get on with it. You just need to take that first step. Right. Having spoken about various things already, and you've seen me getting Kofi Kingston, the big Kofi, let's have a look and see what we're up to today. We've got Team Road to Glory. And now this would have been fantastic for me had it have been Kane. I would have finally got a pro from an event. It's like an under-event card, if you know what I mean. Not the event card itself, because obviously you do get a pro if you do the 2 shizzles on that. What I mean is obviously the straightforward SummerSlam 18 card. Have any of you guys even still got these? You still got these Halloween cards? I ditched one a long time ago. I've kept a few of the these cards simply to see if I could get a pro, because obviously they do chuck a few of them out free, as you see here. But unfortunately I don't have that one, which is typical. I do like that Taker image. That's a cool Taker image. So I'm pleased with that. And Shawn Michaels is a single. Kane would have been a pro. Shawn Michaels is a single. So we've not bothered so much just recently as Team BadLadDad, it has to be said, because on the back of doing a heroic run on Road to Glory, obviously I've not done it this time round, but if you've done a heroic run on Road to Glory, it's quite a monotonous slog to do over your 4 days. And to then be faced with this, actually Edge makes a pro, I do still have that as a single. I'm not going to say that we're going to get this card. In fact, it's probably just as well it's not Kane, because if it was Kane and we didn't get it, I'd be quite upset. So I'm not going to say we're definitely going to get it. I think quite a few people have got their eye on this Undertaker card for the image. But yeah, I think we're getting that kind of end of season blues, you know, where everything just slows down a bit and you're like, okay, do we really need to bother? And of course, another thing is, you will have seen hitting a lot of people's decks over the last few days from the Woo edition, the 2K19. There's the 3 cards, not 1, not 2, 3. SummerSlam 18, you've got the AJ Styles, there's Ricky Flair himself, and this is big bouncing beautiful daughter, Charlotte. There's also SummerSlam cards. There's 3 SummerSlam pros that people have suddenly been introducing to the decks, or indeed one guy who I saw who'd got 4 AJ Styles pros. So he's either been hitting eBay hard, or he's gone mad and bought 4 copies of the same game, and he's then going to sell the game on eBay. Oh, who knows what he's doing. He's got a lot of money, obviously. Anyway, I don't have those, sadly. We do have 2K19, and if you haven't seen our first look at 2K19, check the video out. But that, of course, came out a few days before it was available to the general public, thanks to those lovely people at 2K Games. But because of circumstances, I've not been able to play too much of it up to now. But now that Ninja Boy's back in action, one thing that we have done, we've already, our first FIFA video had come out, FIFA 19, saying that he was going to be doing a management My Career mode. We're still looking for suggestions from you guys as to teams that he could use. So feel free to stick a suggestion down below for FIFA 19, but you better stick FIFA 19 than the name of the team, because other people might be a bit confused if you suddenly just stick the name of a football team down below when this is all about WWE SuperCard. But we have done, that first FIFA 19 video is also out, so check that out. We have done a FUT draft together, and we had a pretty spectacular final. Without giving it away too much, we got to the final. The final itself was possibly one of the most stressful, stroke enjoyable, stroke amazing finals I think I've ever been involved in a FUT draft. So I'm hoping to get that video up for tomorrow, and that's me and Ninja. That's Ninja back in action, still sound a bit bunged up, but that's me and Ninja together. So check that out tomorrow. Just in the meantime, I'm just going to have a look at War, because I'm way behind on my momentum slots as well. I normally like to have 3 momentum slots on the go, because they're very useful, particularly if you've struggled on the heroic mode on a road. It's normally the Road to Glory that's the struggle in terms of heroic mode, just from a time point of view. So it's good to have at least 3 momentum slots up your sleeve. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of this, and a little bit of that, just to show some live gameplay, but live, just to show it's live. It's not all pre-recorded. I was actually going to do, I was sat in my mum's flat late last night, and I was thinking about, I could do the finale to Road to Glory. I could do it live. It doesn't matter that it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I can talk as loud as I want and just get on with it. And I thought, no, actually, she lives in a warden-controlled environment with lots of old people, all in their flats, and you can hear a pin drop in the whole complex. And I started yelling things to do with SuperCard and Road to Glory and going crazy. It might just wake up and upset a few of the old bods who live there. So I thought I'd better maybe just being quiet's a good thing. Maybe that's the thing to do. So that's what I did. Right, so that's it. That is a SuperCard update for a Monday. You've seen me ploughing through the road to glory to get Kofi, obviously just on the first run, not on the heroic side of things. There were some nice images on the heroic side. There was a British Bulldog, very nice image on the SummerSlam side of things. But yeah, so there we go for that. One more I can't say momentum. I need a beer, that's what it is. I need refreshment. I need the gold amber liquid just to get my juices flowing. Yes, I need to get these momentum slots sorted, and there's this Team Road to Glory this evening, just in case I was bored and I didn't have anything to do, because there's nothing going on in my life right now. And just a few momentum... I'm going to give up. I'm going to stop talking. I've had enough. You've probably had enough as well. But Jim, go away. I'm going away. But before I do, don't forget, if you like the video, bung me a few likes down below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed before. Why don't you subscribe? If you subscribe, it gives me the energy to do more of this nonsense. If you want to see videos on how to do all this kind of thing, let me know in the comments down below, and I shall consider trying to do it in a spare moment at 3 o'clock in the morning sometime. And of course, there's all the social media. There's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's Facebook. Until I see you next time, you stay cool.